Okay, here's our July budget, old school. So, income, $3,800, savings goal this month, and probably for next month, and maybe moving forward, something similar to it, of 35%, $1,330, rent, $1,550, electric, $168, phone, $123, renter's insurance, $30, car insurance, $75, leaving $524 for food, pet, household, and fuel. So our pet is about $100 a month with wet food, dry food, litter, and medications. Household, of course, we all know what we buy for a household. And what comes up, fuel is about $100 a month now. It was $60, but we do fill up twice, and the two fill-ups in that get us pretty close to $100. So leaving $324 for food. One of our actual first grocery haul is in this video. So how are we going to do it? How are we going to put this savings? Well, we're just simply going to make this income and just simply take 35% of it and keep it in the savings account. These are our bills, so these bills have to be paid. So how we're going to do it is obviously make the income, meet the savings goal, and pay our bills. Live off of $324 of the groceries. We've done that before. We've lived off actually less just in the last couple of years. So I'm going to be making videos where I'm going to be showing in detail. This was what the groceries that we bought. This is what the freezer and refrigerator and pantry look like. And these are the meals that we came up with, and even some videos that show the meals that I came up with. So the story is going to be told of how we did it. And if you follow along with the videos in that, it's going to be laid out video after video. Some of my upcoming videos are going to be vlog-like. For the first time, I'm going to give that a try. So you will see some of those details right in those vlog videos of how the daily routine and the daily budgeting and, the money on the counter and counting it out and deciding if we're going to go to a food stand or deciding which store has better prices. We really don't sit here and chase savings or coupons. We just simply look online. Sometimes I fill a cart for Aldi and fill a cart for Walmart and see who wins. That isn't the whole story, though, because when I go into Aldi, oftentimes the foods that I was looking for aren't there, aren't in good condition. This household is, as far as my diet, big on fruits and vegetables, and my husband is lowering his consumption of red meat all the time, so we're basically down to just chicken. So we try to eat fairly, I would say, frugally or conservative, try to keep the grocery budget down. We're fairly frugal when it comes to household products. As you can see, there just are no money here for vacations or date nights or any subscriptions. If this is the budget, this is it. I've been as transparent as a person can get, and I know in the past people have said that I'm either bragging about our income or whining or complaining about it. The video is basically put out that talks about our budget so it can show exactly what's left for food. And then when you're seeing exactly what's left for food, then you're seeing the grocery hauls with that food in it. And then I make videos here and there with me cooking that food. And I've also attached grocery lists and menus and recipes and meal plans to videos in the past. So if you have been following along, and I know I have many very faithful and loyal and wonderful friends that do follow along, then you've kind of seen everything, just the story just come along. And my videos for the last couple of years have shown us coming back from debt and paying off an enormous amount of student loans and credit card debt, to loss of job and then regaining a job and loss of job again, and health problems and hospitalization and emergencies and whatnot, to where we are today. And I'm just sharing with you the income, and this is it. There are no secret incomes or secret expenses, other than if there is something that's personal that comes up that I don't care to share on the internet, obviously I'll leave that out. But there is no date night or streaming or subscription or extras or miscellaneous or anything in our budget. There just isn't room for it with what we make. And so some people make more than us and some people make less. Lots of people live on far less money than we are, and they do really well, and they probably could teach me tips and tricks and everything else. And if you have those tips and tricks, I welcome them in the comments. But it does get kind of upsetting when somebody new comes to the channel and they think that and probably to any channel where people discuss their income and think that they know the full extent of the story just with one view of one video or two views of two videos. There's a story here, and I've been kind of laying it out, and granted, I know that it jumps around a little bit and it changes a little bit, and there have been a lot of interruptions in my plans for the last year, especially starting probably mid last year. But we are coming along and we are doing it, but unfortunately we got to kick that savings goal up a little bit, and we've got to tighten our belts, not just because of the economy or the way things are in the world and stuff like that. It's our own story. I worked in healthcare for 21 years and never made more than $5.50 an hour. That's my fault in a lot of ways, that my Social Security check is going to be low. And then all of a sudden in my 50s, I decided to complete school and then search for a couple of years for a decent job. And before when I retire and stuff, I want to work long enough in this field, making a mere $12 an hour, to really have a larger Social Security check. So we're behind the eight ball. My husband doesn't retire until almost 15 years after I retire. So for 15 years, he's going to have to, have a good job that's making good money, that takes care of all the expenses, because my Social Security check is low. So saving and investing is very important to us. We're getting a late start, so with that late start, we're going to kick it up a notch, and this is how we're going to do it. I've had a lot of different plans and a lot of different ways to do it, and some of them have worked and have worked well for us. But I think, we're going to try to make more money, and if we can't, we're going to try to spend less. And this is July's budget. Okay, it is July 11th. My husband and I are celebrating 32 years together today, and we decided to pick up a few groceries. This is the first time we're picking up anything for food-wise in the month of July. We're trying to save more this month, possibly even try to save more next month, just to kind of adjust to a new budget that I'm looking forward to working with in 2026. I've always tried to perfect our budget, the amount that we spend, the amount that we save, just because we're behind in retirement savings. We have an old car that we need to replace, and we'd love to move out of this apartment and into a home, rather small home, something that we can afford as soon as possible. And so we're waiting and planning, and this year I tried a new budget that got us a little bit closer, and next year something a little different. So trying to build a pantry and make sure that is always supplied and stuff like that we don't deplete that. Have been trying to do different with buying meat. I'm really working on just buying rollback items, not chasing sales necessarily, but buying the rollback items and that, eliminating some things in our grocery budget and adding in others. And it is the season for farmers markets, and instead of running all over the place buying stuff from farmers markets, we're trying to buy very, very local, or something that's along the path of a drive that we're making. We may stop and pick up some fresh produce. And I am asking for the first time in years, per pound, to compare it to the grocery store, instead of just being so happy to see something fresh, maybe willing to pay anywhere from 40 to 50 to 60 cents more. I'm not doing that this year, so I'm trying to make some smarter choices and decisions in that, and I'm hoping that will propel us into an even better budget in 2027, because we want to be able to afford things and have a comfortable life and go on trips, vacations, and stuff like that. But in order to do that, we're going to have to save for our retirement, save for our home, instead of paying as what we're doing right now for not having a home. And I know a lot of people have mentioned that owning a home is very, very super expensive, but we see the benefit in it. As long as it's a small home that we can take care of and we can afford, we see a benefit in it. And my husband's got, at least before he slows down, another 25 to 30 years, and so that's great. Then, even if I'm gone long before that, he'll have a nice, comfortable home that he can live in, that he can actually still take care of. And when he can't take care of it, he moves to some place where someone can take care of him, or just hires somebody to come do things like lawn mowing. So that is our goal and our plan. So part of that is cutting expenses. So this is the first. We waited till the 11th, and then we went out and tried to fortify the pantry a little bit, and then pick up some fresh fruit. So I bought my 4 cans of soup, and yes, I love it, and I ate 4 cans in the last 6 weeks, so I purchased 4 cans. We were out of Hidden Valley Ranch, and I wanted to try some of this stuff with avocado oil instead of the soybean oil that's in the regular stuff, and that was $3.97 at Walmart. Little Miracle Whip was $2.38 at Walmart. This is my mom used to make potato salad with, and I haven't had the potato salad with Miracle Whip for about 45 years now, so I'm going to try a little of that. We've been using Hellmann's for years and years, so just a little container to see if I still remember what it tastes like when I was a kid. Some fresh citrus, some lemons. They were 29 cents a pound, an orange 76 cents. I'm going to make a refreshing drink in a mason jar or ball jar, and it calls for citrus fruit and 2 limes. Some Jell-O, black cherry sound good to me, so I'm going to make some Jell-O, $1.28. These are $1.97, the larger ones, lime, and then I've got some strawberries to cut up and homemade whipping cream for the strawberry Jell-O. Some slider buns for hamburgers this weekend. Those are a rollback at $1.97. In case I didn't mention it, the soup is usually $1.92, but it was $1.86. The accordion file was $2.78 in the school supplies. The Prego was on sale for $1.18 a jar. A small loaf of bread. These were $2.28 or $2.24. This was $1.76 on rollback. Bananas were 50 cents a pound, and the Pink Lady apples were cheaper than what they were selling apples at Aldi, because I did check. It's going to be hot this week, and I want to make sure our little rabbits, we've got baby ones now that are coming out and eating clover, but they'll come and mow the lawn, and then we'll have high humidity and they'll have nothing to eat in this area where they live. So I'm going to put out little cubes of apples and extra water, and these apples were $2.68 at Walmart today.